Oh, there's Alfred talking. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alfreda.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Wait.
Oh my
I
goodness.
know. I just forgot to put my microphone in front of me.
Yeah.
I had a fucking day. Okay, leave me alone.
Oh yeah, I bet.
All right.
I'm really glad that we got the sound of you putting your microphone in a fucking front face lock on the YouTube exclusive. People are like, ah!
Oh my god, is it record? Oh yeah, it is recording. Okay.
I pay for YouTube Premium for this shit. All right.
Okay.
Ready to
sorry.
count it down for Audacity?
See.
Yeah.
Oh, who's hosting?
I could host if you want.
All right, Doug.
All
3,
right.
2, 1.
Hey, all you mutant goons from beyond, we're back. And this time it's a full house because we're all back, kind of. We're just missing Coker. But here we are with our new Slashers podcast with, well, let you guys to introduce it yourselves. Here we go. We got, who's on the mic first?
Hey.
Adrian. Yay. Golf clap.
Yay.
Who else we got?
It's me, Mikey.
Oh, wow.
That was so cute.
Do you have the genealogy to be able to do that without being racist?
No.
It's a fair question. Okay, see, so and I am Jake, obviously the attorney of the group. Sorry, everyone.
Okay, well, like I said, we're all kind of back after a little hiatus here, and it's going to be a little harder to edit this episode because we got 4 tracks going on. So it's going to be like a peanut butter gangbang and an orgy. Trust me, it's not fun. But anyway, we've got a movie from 1977 for you, and this is one that a lot of you guys probably haven't seen, or you have seen and you thought it looked like a fucking snooze fest from the cover, but because I'm one of those people. But that is Demon Seed from 1977.
Let me tell you. Shit holds up. I don't like a lot of old movies because I'm cranky and I don't have any fucking spare time. But for 92 minutes, I think this is. Mwah. And bonus points, streaming free on Tubi and on Roku channel right now.
Yeah, so plug for you guys that have your Rokus, besides B Movie TV and Pervy the Clown, you got Demon Seed, which sounds like another porno, so.
My God.
Makes me wish I was in a metal band. I would just do a song that's just the script of this.
Well, it's funny. I remember when I went to Tennessee, a lot of people were talking about they're talking about Demon Seed for some reason, and they always like had the overalls like, yeah, I remember Demon Shade. So every time I see this, Demon Shade.
Were they like big fans of the movie, or is that something else?
No, it's always one of those people. You remember, like your friend's dad that says like, I remember seeing this movie in the 70s. They never, it's either Let's Scare Jessica to Death or Demon Seed, which is what most people remember.
So I'm not saying this about people from Tennessee necessarily, but with the accent that you gave, one would think that Demon Seed would be like that person's interpretation of interracial relationships.
Yeah, especially in the Bible Belt. So yes.
That I hear that voice, I automatically go to, ooh, something's really bad is about to be said, isn't it?
Well, I mean, unless you like fucking your cousins or sister, then that's the perfect for you down there.
According to Pornhub, that's everybody these days. Jesus, that front page is incestuous as the Old Testament.
Yeah, sounding like a real subreddit moderator there.
Yep. The gays aren't immune either because they're the same.
No, the gays aren't allowed down in Tennessee. From what I remember, it's not. I don't know. It's very like, you ain't part of this town.
I think it's like everywhere. I think in Tennessee you can probably get railed by a couple of dudes, but if you go like Saskatchewan, Tennessee, or wherever small city there is in Tennessee, it's probably not a
thing. In Canada?
I don't know. I just
Saskatoon. I think anyway. But I think that there are towns so small in Tennessee that like nobody knows they exist, and that the person there has like a tinfoil crown, and he is the emperor of his mother's womb. Sorry if you listen to this from Tennessee.
We love you down in Tennessee. One of my Alex Powers lives down there. So.
Oh, hi Alex. Sorry for ostracizing you.
Yeah, that's the reason I went to Tennessee.
Well, I will say, not to be controversial again, but I don't like 70s movies, but this movie didn't like this movie was a lot better than I expected it to be. I mean, yeah,
I like
Texas
how
Chainsaw's
fucking
fine.
political you're being because you can see Aid clutching her imaginary pearls at the idea that somebody doesn't like a movie from the 70s that is so boring it could make your eyes bleed and calcify and turn to stalactites.
It is not.
Well, this movie isn't, but like, let's be honest, the 70s are not the best time. This is a rare exception.
Oh yeah,
The
well
70s
the
are like me. They're pretty to look at, but there's really nothing inside.
No,
Oh.
70s movies always have that like that greenish brown carpet, and then you get that stupid piccolo flute music. I cringe every time I hear that piccolo flute music. I hate it.
Yeah.
And that's the
Jazz
staple of the
flute.
70s. Yeah.
Oh my God, but okay, no, because we have so many good movies from the 70s. Black Christmas, okay, The Exorcist. I like Halloween. I know you guys don't like that one. Well, Jake and Doug, I guess. And not only that, but like, okay, not just that, Sisters, the Brian De Palma Sisters, I believe that came out in the 70s as well. Like there's some.
I see your sisters. I raise you Sister Act, which came out in the 80s. Thank you.
The movies
Hey,
that you're
she's
naming are
canceled
actually-
temporarily.
Temporary.
I have to bring up Whoopi Goldberg so we can get
No,
metadata
she
because everybody's like,
apologized.
she's awful.
She apologized. She's fine. The movies that you're mentioning that actually are good are either very early 70s or very late 70s. It's that like
Ooh.
meat of the sandwich that's not good.
Okay, no, like okay, so Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That was
The
also remade and
Brood.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'll give
but
you the
it was-
Brood.
It was okay. So don't, yeah, like you. What? Oh, and like Legend of Hell House is so good too. It's so scary. But
Okay,
you,
I'll,
you guys just want to hate on everything.
I'll put it all. I'll put it all on red on this one. I think that's the gambling metaphor that I want to use. Motel Hell, right from the 80s.
Motel was
That-
1980, like right on the. So Motel Hell counts. That's one of my favorites.
There we go. Robert Jaffe. That he produced that film, or he did the screenplay for that film. So we're all related, and we can agree that the 80s are better than the 70s. So let's just move on, Doug, to the next point that you were going to make.
Okay, well, I seem to be sidetracked here, but yeah, so Demon Seed was one of those films that a lot of people kind of remember just from the title, or like most people that I talked to. I think my dad was one of those people too. When he mentioned, he's like, I seen it sometime in the drive-in, I don't remember, but this just seems to be one of the movies that was always put on the wayside, because when you watch it, and I'll admit to it, I don't really classify it as horror. It's more of like a thriller. To be honest, I mean, it's just like a girl. Well, we'll see what the plot is here. I won't get into all that too soon. But basically, it's a home invasion movie where the intruders are your own house or your Alexa system. So, a lot of it's taking place in this house. So, where the girl's kept captive, and this computer wants to know more about her. So it tries to implant its seed into her. And you get Garrett Graham in this too, from Child's Play 2 and Phantom of the Paradise. So that was kind of a fun. I didn't recognize him at first. He had a full head of hair.
Yeah. So
Which one is
just a-
he? The friend or the husband?
He was the nerdy friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks good. Honestly, if you dedicated that much of your life to being a nerd, you would expect that you wouldn't be so agile, albeit up until your unfortunate demise.
You could have
Yeah.
just kicked that scene with the laser. I'm like, just, and he got stuck in like what is it? A Rubik's Cube thing. So
I
Um,
know.
yeah, poor Garrett Graham. He always ends up dying in all the movies he's in. So
Let's talk about that Rubik's Cube. I hadn't seen this movie before, and I feel like after I saw Interstellar, that robot that does like the clunky walking thing, that's like a
Mhm.
bunch of just like metal chunks. I think I ripped this off, and I think this was better. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You didn't watch the movie, you just watched the memes with sad Matthew McConaughey? What the fuck, guys?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that, but that kind of reminded me of the thing from Hellraiser 2, Leviathan. So that's what it reminded me
Oh,
of.
yeah, that's what it reminded me of. I couldn't remember exactly what, but yeah, you're right.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just a big glob of floating demon seed. I was like, is that supposed to be like his because it came in like little tubes at first, like little blocks, like little Toblerone bars. And I thought they were
Oh.
gonna shoot one in there, but I guess not.
Oh my God.
I thought she was already pregnant after the first like examination. That was something when they're like started talking about it. I'm like, wait, isn't this spoken for already? And then he like
Oh.
kind of like talks her into it. This is going to be a weird one. Dean Koontz, you're not as clean as I thought you were, sir. I always thought that Stephen King was the pervy derby.
Well, it depends how close to the source material it is, because I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, he hasn't impregnated her yet, but he like did all that shit to her when she was knocked out. Like, why don't you just put it all up there? Like, I'm not condoning robot rape anybody, but if his end goal was to impregnate her and he's doing all these things to her already, then he's like, and by the way,
Yeah,
which he is romantic at the end when he said, "The child is in you." I was
Oh
like,
my God.
he was so
I
nice
was
about it.
really hoping that there'd be like candles, and then that shitty little wheelchair robot would come in with a plate of spaghetti and just be like, "I love you,
Yeah,
my
that,
wife."
now that wheelchair robot, yeah, it needed a date because it was only dating Rosie Palms and her 5 fingers there. But besides besides that, I don't. Okay, so quick point on this here. This robot, it didn't really have a mind of its own. I feel like one of the programmers programmed it to get all pervy and stuff like that, because I mean that's how Chucky was in the Child's Play remake. It learned, it learned like a toddler did. So maybe that's what it was, or was it in the source code? I didn't pick up on that. I don't know if you guys did.
Well, it was supposed to absorb all of the knowledge, and Alex had put in like the basic core tenets, and so I think there's supposed to be what I took, especially when you see that the kid at the end is their kid once again, was almost this like, I don't think it was overt, but like the subconscious, like that's what his, like if he could, with all of the resources and all of everything, he would recreate his child and have his own life back. And so now he's in a situation where his life goes back to square one, where he's still with his wife and he gets the kid. Am I reading it wrong? Did you guys read it differently?
I got that also, but I didn't I kind of had like Hal in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
How it just kind of turns on where it has to protect itself, but it used the knowledge that it already had to put it where it was. But
it was weird to see it just be okay with dying, right? Because like you said, every time there's a computer, it's always like, I can't let you do that. And it's always trying to protect its own self-interest, because generally the concept is that the computer doesn't believe in heaven or an afterlife. So once power goes off, it goes dead. And so in this one, it was just like, yeah, I'm going to die, but I'm not really going to die. I'm going to John Malkovich your daughter.
Well, that could also be a hint to the director, because he committed suicide in 1986. So there's that.
Via shotgun blast. Is that before or after Kurt Cobain?
Probably when that trend was hot. I don't know. When was shotgun blast in the face the hot trend?
Cock it like it's hot. Cock it like it's 1994. So he ripped off Kurt Cobain. Must have been a big fan.
Yeah. Well, too bad, because he was also he was gonna direct RoboCop 2. Did you see that?
Yeah, that would be very weird. It would be a lot more sexual, but also like there's a lot of sexiness in RoboCop 2. When the lady doctor's like, ooh.
Oh yeah. So is RoboCane. Like, remember, this is like getting the orgasm for the juice. So
I'm kind of interested in looking up Rule 34 and seeing if that's happened. That has to have happened, right?
I'm sure. I mean, you got Hitachi machines, free samples at Costco, I saw. So and they do it by themselves.
I saw a meme on the subreddit Witches versus the Patriarchy. It's one of my all-time favorite subreddits, and they every time I've ever posted, they're like, "You're too negative," because I posted some silly stuff. It was a screen cap from Dragon Ball. Shut up. But there was a bunch of witches at like a coven thing, and it's like, "Witches, raise your wands," and the one lady like looks pensive, and then she like holds up her Hitachi. It was very very amused.
Well, if you need any last minute Valentine's Day gifts, take the demon seed route and get a Hitachi.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Valentine's Day, will come out on Valentine's Day on Monday. So
yeah, so this is a good love story. Instead of Valentine's, it'll be VD Day, so Venereal Disease Robot Day.
VDR Day. Oh my God. No,
I'm afraid to get into what you think of it, because I could see you liking the movie at parts and then just hating everything about it. You have a look of more hatred, but I think that you're going to be like, but I do understand that at least one thing is good.
Yeah, well, okay. Like, I'm like choking on my water because I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm watching this. I started it last night, and then I was pissed because the Wi-Fi, something with the connection went out. I don't know. Anyways, neither here nor there.
Well, it's
Sorry.
almost like the demon seed was trying to stop you from watching this movie because it knew you weren't going to like it because he's romantic. So when he comes to impregnate you later, he's like, "But I bought you flowers and made you not watch movie."
Okay, firstly, he's not romantic, and I'll tell you why. Because if his mind is after Alex's, right, or modeled after Alex's, or that's where he got, his intelligence or whatever. Alex is a prick in the beginning of the movie. Like when he comes home to talk to her, and he's like, "I'll be moving out," and he's just talking to her. He's like, this happens. He's just very like insensitive to her. And I think it's even worse when you think about it at the end of the film, because then we realize like they have a dead child, and he's just being a fucking prick, like ew. And so there's that. So I don't think that the monster, I keep calling it a monster, I don't think the robot at all is romantic. I think it is a disgusting pig. And I mean, and that's the
I take
thing.
offense because I used all of these moves in winning over my wife when we were
Oh,
dating.
what, you
This is my playbook, man.
Tied her up with wires, starved her, and burned her feet.
You lobotomized her head.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to do a welfare check on your wife?
No.
She's
You know,
fine.
She is
Nothing's
fine.
wrong here.
Just only
She's
look at the
fine.
little camera version of her, which is like, Stepford wife.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that he gives her no choices. He basically tells her, "You accept it or I'll change your mind." And it's almost akin to an abusive relationship, to where either you deal with it or you somehow get out of it, but they're always like in the back of your head, right?
Oh, he gaslights her for sure. Like basically doing the "you made me do this to you" thing. Like
Yeah.
and especially the "now clean the lenses," going back to that and anchoring it on that. That's like that abusive pattern of like, I need you to give up and I need to win on this basis.
Yeah, no, I can't. Like that's just so many parts of it got me so angry, and I'm sitting here on the couch just like shaking my head. It's just, oh, I'm like covering my mouth, but I was sitting on the couch just shaking my head.
This is an audio podcast. I don't know if you do that.
I know. And I just, but yeah, no, I was very unhappy with a lot of the movie, and there are things that I do like. Okay, so one thing I liked was that I feel that she didn't really give up too early. I mean, he basically had to beat her down into nothing before she gave in, and she was only trying to protect her client, right? So I'll give her that. I don't like the fact, though, that I feel like a lot of movies do this, where it's sort of like a Stockholm syndrome thing. Like at the end, when Alex comes in the house to find her, and she's all of a sudden she's okay. She's dressed nicely. She did her hair, got her makeup on, and she's looking at him like, "You need to understand." Like, no, bitch. The door is open. Get the fuck out of the house. Like, I wouldn't even stay there. Like, even when the guy wrestled the other robot, like, what was his first thing he did? He went in the basement. Like, leave the fucking house. I don't know. I was just very
I see what you
annoyed.
mean. I thought
Yeah.
about that too. Like when Garrett Graham kind of comes in the room, I'm like, the window's open. You can just jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the robot's gonna do anything.
Oh yeah. Every time in these movies, I'm always like, okay, pretend you're gonna walk him to the door and then run your ass out the door with him. But
Yeah.
I see like how you have that perception in the movie. I kind of took it a different route, because the whole time she's fighting, even if she made some mistakes that I was like, you could have just gone out if you did this, but whatever. I think that, she didn't necessarily give up. I think she had to modify her plan given the circumstances, because there really isn't a way for her to get out of this. She's tried. It somehow controls gas, even though it's electric. But
it eats garbanzo. That's why.
Yeah. So,
it's vegan. Yeah.
So at the end, whenever her husband does come in, I think her plan isn't complete until she kills the kid. So she has to act like, and then she looks better because he's not abusing her so much anymore, because he got what he wanted out of her. Now he thinks it's just a waiting game. He thinks she's going to see this, because he even says, she goes, "Can I see the kid whenever she has the, can I see the child whenever she has the baby?" And he's like, "If you want to love it, then no."
Yeah.
Well, that's ugly. That nappy weave it had when it came out. But
like most babies are like super fucking ugly, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, next
There's a
time
reason why we don't use placenta as like lubricant. Just saying.
Well, some people do.
Oh,
Some people
Douglas.
eat it.
Some
Some
people
people
eat it,
eat
yeah.
it.
The little
Yeah.
pills and stuff. What I think
you
this
make a
movie
soup
really
out of it.
needed was they needed a scene where the little metal shutters that go down chop someone in half or something like that to show how quickly that could happen. You know, like
Yeah.
I would sacrifice, while it's my favorite part of the movie, as evidenced by my Zoom background with the guy getting his head pinched off. I still think that if he had like tried to dive out the window and gotten cut, I think that'd be way more dynamic and interesting because it is kind of this ambiguous threat throughout. Now, Aid, let me ask you, you seem frustrated. You raised your voice. You spoke rapidly, almost like Jake does. Was that because the movie was effective in what it was doing, or do you feel exploited by it? Do you get the difference there?
I do get the difference. I do not feel exploited by it. I think the movie was effective. I still don't like it.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to. I completely understand, but you know, we talked about it on last week's episode with Child's Play. I often feel like things just ploy you as a parent and be like, oh well, the little kid's in danger. Blah. I'm like, I love movies where kids die. I've watched the first episode of this show was Pet Cemetery, where a kid dies, and so you know, in this movie, I could absolutely sympathize what you're saying because rape is a very, very no thing for me, and honestly, this is one of the because of the like long-standing progression, and maybe it's because we just did Misery 2, it very much reminded me of that. So my mind was comparing it to so many different things. I never really focused as much on that, which I think saved me a lot of turmoil.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And I mean, I guess there is a lot going on in the movie. I don't dislike it. Like I like the beginning of it a lot, and I did, you know, starts like a typical 70s horror movie, and I did think it was horrific in a lot of ways. Like there was one point where she's at the beginning when she can't get out right away and she's running around, and then she's starting to realize like she's trapped in this house, and I started feeling like this sense of, you know, this impending sense of dread watching her, because now she's stuck in here, and like if that happened like I got stuck on the elevator this morning and I almost fucking like lost my shit.
Dude, Devil's actually a pretty good movie, the M. Night Shyamalan in the elevator.
Yeah, no, that is a good one. I do like that one. But back to this one, I just think that I would have, if I was her, I probably would have lost my shit. I probably would have been throwing things at the wall. I would have just been just like destroying things. I would have gotten all the cameras down. Like I honestly probably, the computer probably would have just killed me for being quote irrational, right? Because everything that happens to her, everything he does to her, he blames on her behavior and her reactions, because she's not being, why do we keep saying him? What did it keep saying to her? That she's
refers to her being emotional and juvenile, and yeah, there's a few different words he uses to kind of put her down.
And
he also says I'm reasonable.
Yeah.
Well,
so he makes it seem like,
wasn't she a child psychologist too? So I thought she was trying to channel that into. I mean, it kind of sucks because her biggest line of defense was throwing eggs at it. Remember, she does her breakfast at it. And he's
Scramby like, egg attack.
Yeah, and then the robot just says, "That's stupid." Like literally, that's what he says in the movie.
It was honestly like effective though, because there were times like in the insemination scene or whatever, like when it was over, I found that it was almost like kind of had the same feeling afterwards, like when you watch a good chase scene, like, oh, I didn't realize that was kind of tense and like my heart was beating a little fast. Like it is really effective to get you feeling that she's in trouble and that this robot is, even though it's technically not like a human, it's not capable of, you know, hate and all that stuff. It's just, it's almost evil. And I was actually wondering which book came out first, Demon Seed or Rosemary's Baby, because I was noticing a lot of connections between the two.
I believe Rosemary's Baby came out first. That's Ira 11, and this came out, Dean Koontz did in 73.
Okay. Was I the only one that kind of saw like similarities between the two, or?
Well, I think I'm just speculating here, but with the success of Rosemary's Baby and films like that, and when did The Brood come out? The Brood came out, I feel like there's a lot of 70s films that sort of exploit even sisters, like, you know, female reproduction and the horrors that come with losing a child, or being put into a situation where you can't protect you can't do anything to protect your child, like for instance with Rosemary especially. And so until she realizes, his name is
Yeah.
the devil, and then they named the baby Adrian. I'm like, what is that? But as far like, I just think that was such I don't know if that was effective back then. I don't know how people felt. I guess I could look that up, but like, I'm assuming there's a strong reaction and a popular one at that, considering there are so many of them that have these different themes in that. So I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, and one thing that I really wish that I had taken the time to read the book. Honestly, I didn't even realize it was based on a book until we started watching it, and then because when I looked it up, so Tubi, for those of you who don't know, has 48 films right now that have demon in the title. And so the poster for this movie is really good. It's super intense, but it has Julie Christie carries the demon seed for her. And so it was like, I had a feeling it was the right movie, but I had to double check. And when I looked, that's when I saw the Dean Koontz cover, which I said was kind of sexy. But the Dean Koontz cover says, the prophetic novel of a profane and inhuman love. So I want to read it just to see, even though this episode will be over, maybe we'll do like a postscript in 6 years when I can finally finish a paperback, because I wonder if it's more, not necessarily romantic, but like if their bond becomes greater through this common goal of like leukemia and whatnot.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's what they tried to portray in the movie, but they just didn't have enough time. Like maybe that's why she was so not as aggressive towards Alfred. You know what I mean? So maybe there was something in between, but you got to read the book, and I don't know. I could see there being a lot more subtext in the book than the movie. So good cheese made though, because when I was watching it, I remind me of a Last Call, a toxic love story. So.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Yeah, that's A's book
on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, sure. Just like that. Like I'm riding the coattails of Dean Koontz here.
No, well, yeah, you got your Dean Koontz cheese made basically. So.
Well, I'm wearing a Twilight shirt, so there's that.
The Vampire Boy book?
Yeah, you see my Edward.
Oh, cool.
It even says his name.
Edward.
How cute.
Well, Dean Koontz didn't write that book.
No.
No, that was Dean Kuntz. So
I knew you were gonna say something cunt related with his last name. I knew it. I was just waiting for it.
I
was curious though. Well, I guess so. One thing that did also make me think of Rosemary's Baby is at the end when she actually sees it and it looks like this. And she's like, but it doesn't show you what it looks like for a long time. And she's like, no, because that's how Rosemary's Baby ends. And so I was like, okay, was the machine actually a demon and it's the devil in there? Like, what's going on? But then you see it and you realize it's mechanical. But I was curious as to why they chose the title Demon Seed, because unless I don't know, it's
Cyber Seed, something like that. I think makes a lot more sense to your point. Demon is distracting.
Yeah, because it makes it seem like supernatural.
And it also implies that I mean, I guess we could consider the robot evil, but that would be more like the robot being an entity and not so much as, I guess, AI. I don't know. But yeah, Demon Seed, I don't think goes with it at all, because it implies that this is a movie about possession. And so I assume, I mean, yeah, technically he does possess her in some way, shape, or form. Like,
oh, when he does the Jeffrey Dahmer and drills into her brain and makes her that was one thing that was frustrating, is it's like either work or don't. Like if you can create a cure for leukemia, are you saying that specifically the female mind is so enigmatic you can't even brainwash it correctly? Guy, come on.
Yeah, I like how he does all that stuff to her brain, and he's like, I haven't even brainwashed you yet. It's like, what the fuck were you doing 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, why'd you put the bike pump needle inside of her temple?
Well, I mean, it's a series of violations. The entire movie, this thing is violating her in so many ways, like physically, emotionally. And it's so, I don't even know, like, if I could say it's triggering, because like, what does that say about me? That like, because I mean, at the end of the day, this is fiction, and this is a robot. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's good to express your thoughts. You're not like you're staining your fat Cheeto stained fingers on the keyboard saying, cancel Demon Seed, it needs to be stopped now. You know what I mean? There's a difference. We're exploring it. So we're talking about it. Like the M&Ms, the fucking M&Ms.
Oh my God. Could you imagine how much sexier this movie would be if she was an M&M
Oh
Oh.
my god.
The
with
green
high
one.
heel shoes?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson would
fuck.
be coming all over this movie.
I would have a gelatinous sputum that I'd have it in such copious amounts she could just take it instead of having to make sperm out of woman genes.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
She'd go from a plain peanut M&M. Ah, damn it! I
Oh
ruined my joke.
goodness. No.
She'd go to a plain M&M to a peanut M&M once I finish, as I nut inside.
Uh,
I knew she knew the punchline, so I had to say it to see the look on her face. And she rolled her eyes, blinked, then rolled her eyes again because her pupils reset.
I can't do it. Oh my god. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking at the book cover now. The book cover's fun. So that's nice.
It looks like she gonna fuck that robot and enjoy it, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's got her little nightie on. Like it looks like the cover of a romance novel.
Oh, yours has a
Eh.
nightie? The one I was looking at is just butthole.
What?
Yeah, dude.
There's just a butthole.
Right there. Look, I'm sharing my screen right now. Here we go. This is a butthole right there.
Oh.
You get to see my
No,
cursor when I share my screen?
Yeah. Why are
There
you?
you
Oh
go.
my god, I hate you.
Just gonna leave that
well,
there.
it looks like she's seducing the machine.
Yeah, exactly. She's getting what she wants. That's what I mean.
No,
Like,
no, let's not victim blame.
could you believe her wearing that outfit in that neighborhood? And it's like I was naked in my own house. What do you want me
I was
to
in
do?
my house.
So this robot's just an incel, basically. So
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's so gross. Like even when it's watching her, like the way the camera is sometimes, like how voyeuristic it is before it even reveals itself. Like when she's naked getting out of the shower, and the way he's watching her. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just like, oh, I can't do this movie.
Let me ask you this, Aid. That's I think you saw the Blade Runner 2049 when the robot lady has the other robot lady fuck the robot guy. You remember that whole thing? How would you feel if the roles of this film were reversed and you had a robot lady trying to suck the seed out of a guy, and that was the demon seed to put into the robot?
you'd have a line
Yeah.
down the street for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
it's
think
hard
a
to be
guy would
sympathetic to a
think-
guy because guys are like, yeah, dude, fucking finally. You girls have had it too good for too long with these dildonics.
Oh, what was Doug? What was that room you were saying where like they put the tire over you? Like someone just comes and like.
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, it's in
the washing
Tokyo.
machine.
And he's like, yeah, and you pay a quarter.
You pay a quarter and then you're in this
Yeah.
washing machine, you spin around and then your dick's getting sucked by random people. It's a fetish in Tokyo. It's in Tokyo Decadence, which we got to do.
Oh my god, we
Sure.
have to watch that one. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so I think that, and it's funny that you mentioned about women saying they have dildos or like machinery, right? I guess it's machinery.
It goes
I
back
don't know.
hundreds of years. Have you ever seen a wood crank dildo? They exist.
Well, somebody has to do it. Okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
you
the
remember
fingers,
hysterical paroxysms.
the fingers don't work. Last time I tried that, Yahira said I gave her an abortion, so I had to cut my fingernails on there. So
Oh my
that's
god.
why machines are better.
Jesus, Edward Scissorhands.
I know. I thought I had good nails. I guess they're they're trimmed.
Oh my god, I can't do it. But yeah, so, and which I get. Okay, so if the thing, I'm sorry, like this movie got me so like hot and bothered, I just don't even know what to make of
Hold
it.
on.
Oh,
Okay, this is an exclusive for the YouTube audience. Okay, we're all on board. I'm gonna share my screen again, and Doug, this is what you need to do, and then she'll never complain about your nails again. Ready? You use one of these bad boys.
oh, I have some of those too.
There you go.
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay.
lose one up there. Just remember, count how many you have, because you want to make sure you have all of them at the end.
Well, you'll see that on Instagram when they show like the X-rays of stuff that's stuck in your body. They'll show those
There's
little
just
finger
a bunch of little dinosaurs.
Yeah, I have some of those too. I don't forgot where I got them from.
We broke 8 again.
Oh no. Well, one of them looks like a rabbit, so I guess that counts.
There we go.
So, okay, point taken.
Yeah. Now, Abe,
I-
go back to talking about how robots suck the sperm out of people, or whatever you're gonna say.
Oh, okay. So it's interesting that you mentioned about the mechanical sex toys, I guess, because I mean, obviously when he's when it is doing whatever it was doing to impregnate her. Like, what was that thing that was coming out? Like, I mean, obviously it was served as a phallic piece, like this big heart. It looks like
A Toblerone bar.
not a Toblerone, like
Yes,
when
the
she's
final one that comes
when
out.
she's
Yeah,
singing,
dude.
yeah, when she's
I was
seeing all
like,
the colors.
why is it
and
so
she's,
ribbed?
oh yeah, that's what it was like.
Yeah,
was
like a Toblerone bar. Like he said it. I
Yeah.
can't top that joke. I'm sorry.
And by the way, the whole insemination scene, I was like, okay, Windows Media Player, like that's what it
Whoa.
looked like.
Yeah, it was like Windows Media Player or The Void. I think The Void took a lot of
Or Star
inspiration
Trek:
from this.
The Motion Picture. Jesus, I just rewatched that the other day. And I was like, oh my god, this isn't that impressive. Please stop.
Like, is this what a
Hey,
female
sorry.
orgasm looks like? I'm not impressed.
In the
Seriously.
90s.
No, in the 70s.
Sorry, go ahead, Aid. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
You know, I can't do it anymore.
No, please do go on with your story. I want to hear it.
Oh,
Here,
no, I
this is what I want.
forgot.
This is your thesis because you forgot. So I'll give you a new prompt. Here's your new thought
Okay.
prompt. Compare this movie where a lady fucks a robot to the song Panama, where David Lee Roth wants to fuck a car. Go.
Well, I guess it's okay because again, it's a man. It goes back to the same thing. Like, would a guy want to get sucked off by a robot? Like, why wouldn't he? I mean, if somebody's gonna like give you a blowjob, are you gonna say no? Like,
That's
Well,
like that movie
is it a-
Splice, yeah.
Is it a girl robot or a boy robot?
well, I
I'm
guess
just
it would
kidding.
depend.
Just kidding.
But then if you okay, like imagine.
I guess I
don't
should
know.
say man or woman. I don't mean to say girl or boy.
No, thank you. Because when you said that, I
Yeah.
was like, "Eee."
No, I meant man or woman robot.
I guess
Because literally behind you is a little girl robot, and that's what
threw
that
her
looks
out.
like.
okay, but
That one. Ew.
Oh my god.
Did you like when he peeled the shell off? That reminded me of like Planters peanuts. That's what Mr. Peanut looks like underneath. He's a little blonde girl.
Well, I figured that's what was going to happen when he started breaking it open. I'm like, oh, here we go. There's going to be a baby under there for real. And then they're going to love it because it
Yeah,
looks like a
like-
person.
A 5-year-old baby.
Yeah. And, but I did like it that it did look like the girl, but then it opened its mouth.
Oh, I know.
It's like,
And
Nah, nah, nah.
I just started laughing. I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking thing. like this whole intense crazy movie, and the girl opens her mouth and it's that stupid voice and she sounds like a smoker now, like, or something. I mean, it was so bad. I'm like, if it had just been her voice and saying it, I think it would have been 100 times more effective than
Or her
Was-
voice with like an ambient overlay of his voice, right? So that because right now
Something.
it's like trying to rip off Linda Blair, but it's just so silly. Like there's no way this was ever gonna work. I struggle to imagine a scenario where the guys editing this film didn't chuckle at least once.
But yeah, I mean, it's so like I for lack of a better word, it's just stupid. I mean, especially with the buildup and everything, with the movie being pretty consistent throughout. I mean, the tone, I feel like, and then that ending, I'm like, no. So it was a nice little comedic relief, but I don't think that was intentional.
well, see, I mean, they could have done it positively. Like what I would have thought is like, well, she does talk like a robot, so that's saving us $1,000 on daycare. She could just stay home and do the dishes and clean when we're out working. So there you go. See, it's a robotic Alexa that moves.
Oh my god, like Small Wonder. And then
Yeah,
you have like the nosy redheaded neighbor girl who's like, I know that bitch is a robot.
yeah. You get Cheeseman neighbors, and she ends up going after Barbara or something.
I love that.
The one thing that I did think kind of took away from being as creepy as it could be is kind of like the robot's vernacular, I guess you could say, because and I mean I hate to keep comparing it to Space Odyssey, but like Space
It's a good
Odyssey, the robot,
comparison, yeah.
the robot talked like a robot, and that's what made it freaky. It's the first time it like defies whatever his name is. But like I don't think a robot would be like, you are insane. It's like a robot doesn't notice that you're insane. Like
I honestly feel like that's loaded language that, in my impression of watching it, and I certainly don't think this was the intention of the screenwriters at all. That language is so selectively misogynist, it feels like it was deliberately meant to manipulate her more than it was like a human. Like I honestly feel that if it was a guy in the scenario, he would use different words. But because women have so often been like subjugated with use of that, that's the way I took it. But that's the great thing
You
about it.
skip leg day.
Impressions.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you're
How
right
did
though.
you just say that the robot would tell him he skipped leg day?
Yeah.
Listen here, bro. I have 5,004 more followers than you.
Those are the smallest calves I've seen.
Why don't you give me that fucking sperm? I'm gonna put it inside this robo pussy. I will make the best fucking weightlifting robot you ever seen. I'm
Is
gonna
that
kill
Andrew-
leukemia with them legs.
Is that an Andrew Dice Clay robot, Alexa?
Hickory dickory, suck my cock.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys are making me hot.
Honestly, I kind of wish that Andrew Dice Clay opened a barbecue restaurant called Hickory Dickory.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always thought I wanted to open up a coffee shop. I told you, Hyra, I'm like, I want to do a coffee shop. I'm like, what are you gonna call it? I call it the Flicked Bean.
Oh wow, that could go over so well.
And people would go. You know.
Dude, we saw a vagina steaming business. Adrian, is this a thing that women get their vaginas steamed?
You're not supposed to just like shove things up there. Like what?
What is it, like
was
steam
a
cleaning?
facility
Like
for steaming vaginas, and there
Oh,
was
is
a
it like-
vagina in the logo of the. It was a business across from a fucking candy store. I'm not even kidding, and it's literally orange vulva going around. It was amazing. I wish I had a vagina to get it steamed there.
Well, I don't know about that, but I watched this show called Claws, and they have a spa like expo, and they have those vagina and I think anal steamings where you just sit over like a, I don't know, like a, what are they called? The Vicks thing that you put in the room.
and what is it supposed to do? Just like
Humidifier?
Yeah,
just
those
humidify your
things.
anus. See,
You
they're
gotta
like,
balance your
it's-
pH levels.
See, I could see the cranky husband. I could see like Aid wanting to go. Aid's like, it's like, no, I want to go get a steamed vagina session. And then Dan's like, oh my God, it's $200. We have a rice cooker at home. We'll just use that.
Then she has
Get-
starchy bag.
Get the Instant Pot and put it on
Yeah,
steam.
Can we not talk about my vagina anymore? Like that'd be great.
It's better a rice maker than a bread maker because that's how you get a yeast infection.
infection.
Yay, everybody.
Oh
Ugh.
man. These jokes are going good. Who would have thought a movie called Demon Seed had so many vagina jokes?
It has
I
more
mean-
vagina jokes than multigrain bread.
I don't know. After
Um,
the past couple episodes I've been on, cum seems to be the pretty common theme here.
yeah, so we
Even
got to
the
change
name
it
of
up.
the movie is Demon Seed.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's like
Not Demon Clam Jam, it's Demon Seed.
So we have Adrian, who's shit obsessed. Mikey, who's spermatologically obsessed. Doug, what's
Give
your
it all to me.
viscous human substance that you're obsessed with?
Oh,
Truffle butter.
yeah, I didn't know what truffle butter was. I went to I kept Googling it when I did that post. I kept putting cookie butter. And I'm like, why
Oh,
can
I
I not
know.
find truffle butter? I thought it was
posted-
cookie butter.
He posted it on his Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny. That's funny." He doesn't know what
I
it is. And
forgot
was like,
what
"Oh
it
no, he
was."
really doesn't."
Yeah, I don't know. I'm into all the vomit and throw up humor. So Ren and
There's a-
Stimpy ruined me as a child.
There's a great video that makes its way onto the front page of Reddit every so often where it's like a hot girl and she's got her hot friend girl who's clearly drunk on like resting on her shoulder and she just throws up on her over and over again and it looks like gravy and it comes up every time and I watch it every time because it's amazingly revolting. So
See,
Google that.
Yeah, it's funny stuff like that. Like I remember it, like just hearing stories like that, and it just always like stuck with me because I'm like, that is so fucking funny. So you know, I'm kind of doing a scene. Well, I remember as a kid, my dad told me that they went to their friend's house and they had a stripper upstairs, and the downstairs area it was very steep. So the one guy, they called him Weird Mike. I guess he grabbed her stilettos because she left it on the side when she was going to change, and he came in the stilettos and he left it there. And then the stripper comes out, she puts her stilettos on and she goes downstairs and she slips and she falls down the stairs because she had cum in her shoes.
What?
Oh my God.
Oh
That's
my
how I
God.
remember stupid stories like that.
He came, she go.
Yeah, come and go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't
So
approve of that message.
back to the movie.
Oh yes.
What do we think of this vision of the future from the 70s? Really not that bad when you think about like smart homes made this age pretty well.
I don't like to use the term "it was before its time" because I don't really understand the term. But I think I can say for this movie, it was ahead of its time because this is exactly where we are. There was just a news article about how they have an AI that can reproduce itself now.
Like
have you all
in
read
a
that?
person?
No, not in a person, but the
Oh, okay.
AIs can reproduce within each other. I didn't read too much into it because I knew I wasn't going to understand it, but the article's out there.
Well, I mean, now you can kind of create your own kid, right? Like through gene splicing and stuff. Not
Oh,
not
yeah.
gene splicing, but you can kind of pick your kid how you want them to be, how look, and stuff like that.
Actually, yes, because when you do like surrogacy, I think you can actually choose the gender of the baby.
Yep. They just throw away the ones that aren't the gender they want. It beats the old world way where you pull on one testicle while you ejaculate or the other, and that determines if it's a boy or a girl. That's science.
Mhm.
That's old
Yeah.
world science.
What is that again?
So when you are ejaculating to make the baby, if you pull on one testicle, it's one baby. So it's very important that if you're trying to have one of each, that you remember which one you pulled on, and then the next time you pull on the other one, you get the other kind of baby.
Doug is like taking notes.
I'm taking notes. You hear that, Alexa?
I can't. Anyway.
So Aid, you take the next topic.
Oh, well, it's fine. Well,
no pressure. Go.
No, I think.
No,
I think.
I'm done.
Sorry, no, Stella's behind me, just being awful right now. But
I didn't really hear her, so that's good.
She's she's crying over by the closet because I threw her ball in there.
Go get Alfred to take care of her.
I know. I almost said Alexa, but she's sitting she's sitting right next to me, and I don't need her listening. But yeah, so I do like the fact that the movie seems, I mean, it's pretty well done. It looked great on my TV. So honestly, I guess I assume they restored it. No.
Yeah, in 2020 it had a 4K restoration, so that's what's on all the streaming sources now.
Okay, and yeah, I think that I think it looks good. I think a lot of people would be able to watch it today and still be able to relate to it. I mean, the shittiest thing for her was that she didn't have a phone, right? I mean, she couldn't. She had the
cell phone.
But like, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'll just go get my phone. And I'm like, oh wait, she can't get her phone. Duh. Like. So I think that's probably to the film's detriment. So I was reading something as I was looking this up, and somebody had said that this would be a really good movie to make again now. And I agree, yes and no. Yes, because I think it's a cool concept. I think that we should just kind of like hold back on like the really rapey stuff, maybe, or not hold back on it, but not, I don't know, whatever. Maybe
I think
not.
the psychological element is the scarier part for a lot of it. Like, I think that's what I would be intrigued to see again, because especially if you set it back in the past and look at like, that's one thing that's always very frustrating is when you look at period pieces, very rarely do you look at like an old school view of the future, right? So if we set it basically in the same kind of time frame where it's the 70s, but futuristic, and then we just had better cinematography, it's more engaging, and it's not the penetrative act, but it's the psychological act. I think the cinematography could be great because a lot of these shots are really just long, wide, and static. They're not very dynamic. They're not very alluring. It's not creepy because it's so stationary. I think you could do a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. But of course, that what they would do now is that most of it would be CGI. And
just don't let Rob Zombie direct it.
Oh, I'd love it. You get Sherry Moon as the robot. So
yeah, it would be like redneck robots. They'd be at the trailer park or something.
Like, get your fucking gut burner over here. Actually, I could see A24 putting this out. So
I could for sure.
Yeah, I like that idea. Actually, I think that they would do well with it. That my only concern would be really shitty CGI, and so it'd be so easy to do that for something like this, especially considering it's futuristic and we're dealing with technology and things of that nature. So do we really know what certain things look like? Like, what would they look like? I don't know. So, but we should probably talk about that thing at the end that popped out. That was the size of a man. And then all of a sudden was a little kid when they.
Oh, because they took the peanut shell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Mikey moved.
The opposite.
When Mikey moved, I saw it there. I'm like, oh, he turned into that ugly baby thing.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought that when it came out, it was smaller than when they took, because when they took the things off her, she looked like 5. But when it came out, it kind of looked like a 2-year-old, like, meh.
Oh, yep. Really? I don't know.
That may have just been me. I don't know.
Yeah, that thing looked like a Roadhouse Steakhouse floor. You know where they throw all the peanuts on the
Oh
floor.
my
That's what it
God,
looked like.
yeah.
I was just like, why
Northwoods
does she
Inn.
have, I was just like, why does it have such long red hair? And it was like the like Party City wig, like 40 inches. It was really weird.
It looked like Thai glass noodles for a second there.
They're like wires or something, right? I don't even
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I thought it was hair.
Looked like
Oh.
dried dog poop. That's what it looked like.
It's taken 25 years, but I am finally halfway through Dragon Ball GT. And so the villain is called Baby, and it's a robot baby that's evil. And so looking at this, and I was like, yep, this is a weird overlap in my brain. So yeah,
Well, there you go. So these filmmakers probably put something on the people who did Dragon Ball Z, you know?
Inspiration.
Yeah.
I have a quick
Yeah.
question for you all. I will give $5. I will Venmo you $5 if you can tell me what other movie Robert Vaughn played a robot in.
I don't even know who that is.
He's the guy who
That's-
voiced the
That
robot.
voice. Yeah, he sounded really familiar.
He was in Pootie Tang, Basketball, Buried Alive, Chud 2, and
Zombie
With-
5.
nope, Superman 3 with Richard Pryor. He gets turned into a robot at the end.
So it's like a sequel.
Exactly. This is in the DC Extended Cinematic Universe.
The DC Extended Cinematic Universe.
The
Okay, I gotta
Snyder
remember that.
cut.
Oh my-
Whoa,
Someone's home.
Uh-oh.
it's a real
Oh.
dog.
Yeah, that's
See,
not
Yeah,
Alfred.
like-
Hey, have your dog take notes. That's what a real dog sounds like. Instead of this squeaking shit. Your dog sounds like a mouse, an angry mouse.
Oh, my
Uh,
baby.
Oh, another fun sci-fi thing. This features an uncredited appearance of Michael Dorn, who would go on to play Lieutenant Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh wow. Of course you'd find that out.
I did.
You know who else was in Star Trek? Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Fritz Weaver, who played Alex Harris because he was on Star Trek: Deep Space Nine.
That was my next.
That was your next
point.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
Bullet pointed list. Number 1, let's kick Whoopi while she's down. Number 2, Fritz Weaver.
Fritz Weaver always played like the perfect boring guy, except in Reanimator, I think. Well, he was kind of boring in Reanimator, except when he gets decapitated. So
So that's actually the fun thing. David Gale and Fritz Weaver look so much alike. I kept going back and forth through everything. And so I like lost my mind at one point. I'm like, this is the same fucking guy. And then it wasn't. And
wait, that's not the same guy, is it?
that
holy
isn't. That's David Gale, who plays Dr. Hill.
They
Exactly.
look, yeah, they look okay. Yeah, he's
They
from
even
Creepshow.
sound alike.
Yeah,
He is in Creepshow. That's correct. That's the
Oh.
weird thing too, because the dubbing in this is really bad. So at first I was looking at this as like one of those Italian movies that's set in the United States, and I was like, I wonder if they just got David Gale to do the voiceover for this guy because it was so similar. Very distracting.
wow. Well, I learned something new today. I thought when I was watching, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Reanimator. No shit. Wow.
Oh
Fuck.
my god, that's so funny. I thought it would look familiar. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's
Well,
not even him.
he's the friend from the crate in Creepshow. The one
Okay.
that's like, yeah, he's at the
Yep.
crate. So.
Well, there you go.
Well, guys, how would you make this movie any better? What are like some key takeaways that you think? I already talked about kind of the static shots. That's my one big thing that was kind of taking me out of the movie at points. But also, to its credit, it made it less severe. That's one thing. If we're really trying to scare someone's guts out of their butts, I think that the camera needs to change. Aid, what would you change?
Maybe speed it up a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to say it was a slow burn. I don't think it was a slow burn, but there were some parts where I felt that we didn't need to keep watching Joshua dragging her around every time. Like, how many
Or make
times
her
they gotta
pregnant that
wrap
first
her?
time? Yeah.
Yeah, like let's get to the point so we can kind of, because I think that maybe that's such an abrupt end. Like I felt like the ending was rushed, and maybe because they were running out of time. I don't know. So I did not do my due diligence on my on my research this time, guys. But I feel like with a movie this old, sometimes it's not. I mean, there's only so much that is out there, right? So, but yeah, maybe just kind of get rid of those shots. And like Joshua was not at all menacing or scary. Like it was very doofy looking, I felt like, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Like Chopping Mall.
Yeah, it was just kind of, and like again, that didn't fit with the tone or the, a movie that takes itself seriously. So maybe update some of those things. That's all I have to say.
It's gonna be hard going back to watch like Iron Man with that like weird robot arm and not be thinking that it's gonna try and get Tony Stark pregnant now. Mikey, what about you? What would you change? You got one key thing to change.
Only one thing. If we kept everything the same, the one thing that I would change is at the end when she sees the baby, make it a demon.
Well, like little horns,
Mm-hmm.
little goatee,
Well, not like that cheesy, but like
it'll go over hooves,
insinuate that it's actually a demon, and whatever was in this
little
house
pitchfork.
was a demon, not a technology. Not one of those.
Ooh, like okay, so that okay, I like that. As you said it, you talked me into it because at first I was making fun of you, but by the end of it, I was on your team.
There you go. See, that's how I get all of them.
Ah, Doug, you got one thing to change. What do you change?
Okay, so for my thing, I guess it's just kind of the overall severity of it. Like I would have, because since it controls the house, I would have loved to see it like it controls the fans. Like when people come in or try to save her, like it makes the fans go up and it slices people's face off, or it throws like their dog in the microwave, or it's pouring hot water all over the. So it makes it more severe than just kind of her in the room. You know what I mean? I don't know. It works all this, like the stuff overload. It's like, oh, if you don't do what I say, I'm gonna blow this fucking house up with turn the stove gas on or something.
Yeah.
A higher kill count could be fun. Also, I think it could up the cheese factor if you wanted to. You could do it in two ways. You could either make it way more severe with a higher kill count or a way less severe and silly with it. So,
well, not really a kill count, but more like severe. Like they're getting hurt by all these things. Like maybe chainsaws go off or the fans go off.
oh,
So you know what I mean? So it's like almost like they're just getting beat up throughout it. It could still be the same amount of people in the movie, but they're like tortured throughout the whole movie by this machine, which makes it more scary, I think.
so it becomes Demon Saw instead of Demon Seed.
Kind of, yeah, or like a
Oh.
mix of. You guys have seen Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2?
Yes.
Yeah, you remember there's like a scene in there that always stuck with me that I thought would fit good in this, like where the paper shredder's going out and that girl's like on the wagon and it's pushing her down and all the electronics are going off. I thought that's what could have worked for this movie to make it a little more zanier.
Well, it's weird because I know the theme of February is like killer whatever robots.
Yeah.
And I like couldn't think of anything, but Doug, you just made me think of a movie. Have you seen Colobos?
Yes, I have. I have that on the Apple TV.
When you talked about the blades, I forgot what you just said because I smoked too much in high school, but like it made me think of that, and I was like, holy fuck, that house was like rigged kind of like with technology to like kill people. And
Yeah, that was like a 90s version of Saw. I remember Colobos.
With a K.
With a K, yeah, Colobos.
It's actually really good. I have the Arrow release of it. It's really good.
No, it's a really good movie. And
It's got the guy from the fucking. He looks just like Elephant Man or whatever his face is. Mask. There we go. Colobos with a K. He's a ginger murderer, and it's on Tubi for free.
Yep.
Eric Stoltz.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Mikey's laughing. He's just muting himself because he's probably laughing so hard that his dog is barking at him, thinking that he's like.
So I have to mute because my microphone, I think it has a time limit on there or something because this happened last time, but it just shut off. So I'm using my computer, which is like sensitive, and Olivia keeps going to the bathroom.
Taking lots of poops.
Well, it was like a rental microphone where you run out of time. You had to put a quarter.
No,
in.
I don't
Quarter
think. No, I don't think it's the microphone. I think it's Audacity. I don't know if it has me on like a setting after like 45 minutes to just go ahead and stop.
It cuts you off. You've had enough podcasting for today. Go
Yeah.
outside. Go read a book.
You know what, Doug, I agree with you. I think more gore and this one would be a lot of fun. I would love to see that. But
Yeah, like not just random people getting killed, but like just like she's getting her hand cut off and then it solderizes her. You know what I mean? It's like if she tries to go down, it pours like hot tea water all over the floor, or you got chainsaws or fans going off because it controls the whole house. So why not?
Yeah, almost get to the point of like the Cube where like you truly feel there is no escape and you truly feel like every part of it is a computer. That's one thing that they really could have done, is show like how dependent we are on technology. Everything, the lights, like how about a scene where they just turn out the lights, they close the shutters, and she's just alone in the dark for hours. That could trigger a lot of people and stuff. So I like that. I like that too. You guys put together a good movie right here. We just made a better movie. It's called Demon Sapling because we took the seed and we made it grow.
Ah.
So I get called out for making fun of Italians in the beginning, and then you do a Guido.
I don't even know what that was.
No, let me tell you this. Not now. In the middle of the episode, you do a Guido, and now you're doing. I don't know what that is, but
I don't even know either. I just say things.
Well, I'll just say, "Ay, pinche puta cabrón, hija de la chinga la mierda."
Oh my God! Here we go. This is like, what was the last episode that everybody was getting Donald Glover mixed up?
Oh,
like you thought he was the zebra. No, you thought he.
No. We got Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock mixed up.
Well,
and
hey, to make
as
it
a
fair,
joke, I said Danny Glover was in Lethal Weapon. And we're talking about someone else.
To make it fair, I got confused between Fritz Weaver and the guy from Reanimator. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Anyway,
Nobody's judging. And anybody who thinks that you have to have an encyclopedic knowledge of all this shit, come on, grow up. Like, there's just too much shit in your life now. Like, I would love to see anybody, like, let's go back to like the 1600s and have them have like a complete encyclopedic referential knowledge of anything. With like, we have to know about like, so for instance, I just started reading One Piece because my cousin-in-law has been like, dude, you're gonna love it. It's crazy. You'll love it. And I've been like, no, I don't want to read it. The art is weird and it's 1,000 fucking issues. And then I finally broke and I started reading it. And it starts with a kid stabbing himself in the face, and I begrudge myself not reading it sooner. But like, I also felt like I can't read this because I don't have the threshold of knowledge to engage in this material. And I deprive myself of years of children stabbing themselves in the face. So don't let other people do that to you.
No.
Jake 2024.
Yeah, right. That's my presidential campaign. More kids stabbing themselves in the face to become pirates.
I think you gave a new presidential candidate their slogan. They're going to say, yeah, I agree with him. So no mention for the metadata.
So we're about to run out of time. So there's one thing I wanted to mention was the little girl, Dana Larita, played Amy. And she was actually a very good little actress. She hasn't acted since 1982. She played the voice of Sis in Robin Hood, the one with Robin Hood and Little John, welcome to the forest.
The animal one.
Yeah. And so when she was yelling, so goddamn boring, that's my mantra when I'm at work all day. Like, it was the exact pitch and cadence and everything. It was amazing.
Aww.
I just thought it was funny that she started saying that out of nowhere. The therapist was like, is it because you're going to miss me?
Yeah,
and I was like,
egocentric much.
Yeah.
Everybody like feel upset that she doesn't actually get electrified to death. I felt a little cheated.
I was kind of hoping to. She lived on to create 4chan, so there you go.
I was kind of hoping for a more grisly death, to be honest, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a kid too, so it's probably why.
She's like 13.
I know.
Have you seen Clown? Clown does not care how old you are.
Yeah, Clown doesn't care. If it was Clown, it'd probably stuff her in the microwave.
Oh my God. That's fun.
All right, gang. Take us, start pitching us shit to sell people and ways that they can make us famous and rich.
All right. Well, if you guys want to support us, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/slasherspod. We have tiers from $1 to $10, or you can leave us a review, or you can grab some brand new merch from our Redbubble account at slasherspod.redbubble.com. Got t-shirts, hats, mugs, notebooks, clocks, shower curtains, underwear soon. So
Toblerone robot penises, you name it.
Yeah, with Mikey's face on the tip.
Toblerone dildo.
Well, that'd be great too, because there's sometimes where a girl, she just doesn't want 6 cubes. She just wants 5 cubes. So you just snap it off and then just come back later. I like the versatility of it. Okay, let's Google this. Do you think there are Lego dildos?
No, because you're gonna lose a piece in there, just like Doug's finger monsters.
Lego
Yeah, those finger
dildo.
monsters.
I
There is
Googled it.
no-
It's in, yep, they have it. It's on Etsy. You can buy them. Oh my God.
How's it look?
It's just a Lego minifigure holding a big black dick. And then there's one with a teal dick and a pink. And oh, she has a Hitachi water. This one has a butt plug. What the fuck?
No, there
Oh.
is a Lego dildo. There's a Scooby-Doo dildo, which I just looked at right now.
Ew.
A banana
Oh.
dildo.
Ruh-roh.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that it would kind of detract from the experience to have something like silly like that, but whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen weird.
Anything's a dildo with enough motivation.
You know what they could do if they ever ran out of ghosts to catch? They could just put like a hole in it, like we were talking about, like the dick hole that dug with the Japanese people that spin around,
Mhm.
and the glory hole could be the new mystery machine.
Oh,
It
we're
could
talking
be.
about Scooby-Doo.
What is that, Scooby-Doo hardcore tentacle hentai or?
Yeah.
All right. Sure, it hasn't been done yet. Well, let's Google it.
It was Mr. Sherman all along. He's like, oh, you kids, as he's got Cthulhu pussy
He
lips.
just has demon seed all over his mustache. It wasn't me.
Yeah. Well, I got to figure out the name of that washing machine thing.
It's probably the
I'm so
RoboSuck
excited.
3000.
No, you go in there, you
Speaking of-
spin.
Speaking of the RoboSuck 3000, we've changed Gory Coleman's cinema fist fucking jamboree. Doug, tell all the kids about what the hip new jazz is on B Movie TV.
Yeah, so unfortunately with Gory Coleman's, it's like I was thinking, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like I had a few ideas for episodes, but it's like, what are we gonna do? So I have a bunch of stuff that I created this character years ago called Grandpa Oates, and he's like this kind of sleazy old man with a family, and I'm like, we could do a lot more with like a sleazy family show on B Movie TV. So right now the show is Grandpa Oates Family Wood Chipper Blender, Cinema Blender. It's a mixture of that one too. We have. What did you have it, Jake? Because I think there's like 3 different titles so far.
I think it was the Oates Family Cinema Wood Chipper was the first one I said, but I think Grandpa Oates Cinema Wood Chipper is what I said. But the only reason was because Cinema Blend was already an established brand. But it
Okay,
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
So it's
Yeah.
Grandpa Oates, and basically you're gonna sit down with his trashy family, and there's gonna be fun little commercials in between. There's gonna be call centers. We're gonna do public access fan mail. So for all you people, you can we're gonna make an email dedicated for Grandpa Oates, and he'll read your stuff and he'll watch your videos on the show, and he'll react to it and probably puke. So basically you got to wake the old geezer up, and he's going to show you some really crazy movies. We got a good movie lined up for the first one. It's a cross-dressing nurse that kills people in a house. It's a lost 80s movie, and that'll be the first one for the show. So it's a fun one. It's gonna be a weird show. So yeah, definitely Grandpa Oates, he's coming to B Movie TV, and he's trashy. So hope you enjoy.
Love it. I love it. Well, that's
Perfect.
exciting.
Well, Doug, you're the one who introed this son of a bitch, so I think it's your job to take us home.
All right, well, I hope you guys all recharge your batteries and, charge up those Hitachis, take your information of Demon Seed home, watch it on Roku, watch us on B Movie TV, you subscribe to our Patreon. We got all that good stuff here. And without that being said, goodbye and good die.
Bye.
Peace.
All right.
The child is in you.